without further ado, we will start. And if someone joins in, that'll be fine too. So thanks. We're glad that you're here with us today. Yes, in Bozeman, we have snow. Yay, yay. Finally, it has been so odd not to have our winter wonderland, and we got it. So hoping to have some either downhill or cross country skiing this weekend for sure. So very nice day for us. Let's go forward. We are the Montana Dietetic Internship Program, and I'm Colleen Kaiser. I'm the director of the program, and I'm happy to have the rest of the MDI team introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. I'm Anna Diffenderfer, and I'm one of the assistant directors, and I lead the Sustainable Food Systems focus area of the internship year.
I'm Lindsay Ganong. I'm an assistant director and the master's coordinator. Good to see you all.
Hi, everyone. I'm Skylar Huntsman, and I am the administrative coordinator for MDI.
So the MDI program is a master's DI program. Our master's is in dietetic systems leadership, and our emphasis and focus in the DI year is sustainable food systems. These are just some fun pictures though, from the last couple of years of great things that we do. So when you come to the MDI program, we think of you as emerging professionals. And we believe and hope that we are giving you the opportunity to be confident learners. And we hope that that is something that carries through your whole professional life, that curiosity and that confidence to learn. We believe that's the basis of becoming leaders in food and nutrition. And it's not always leaders at the front of the line. It's the leaders in thoughts and ideas, and right into that next point of progressive critical thinkers. So we hope that we give you opportunities to look at problems maybe outside of the box, so that some of these wicked problems that we see in our health system, in our communities, individual health, maybe they need some out of the box solutions too. And that's what we hope we prepare you with, is to give you a good grounding and start in that pathway.
Excellent. So I'm happy to provide an overview of our program. We have 26 slots available for our Master of Science and Dietetic internship. So our master's is in Dietetic Systems Leadership, and it's a 2-year program beginning May of 2022 and ending May 2024. So that first year is online coursework from your home community or wherever you'd like to be. And year 2 is 34 weeks of supervised practice. That is the dietetic internship in Montana or Wyoming. And that begins in the second year of August of 23 through May of 24. You'll be assigned to one of 7 geographic areas in Montana or Wyoming, which you can indicate in your personal statement your preference for which community you'd like to do your major rotations in. So logistics. Our program starts this next cohort on May 16th of next year. And online coursework is the first 4 semesters, summer, fall, spring, and another summer before coming to Montana for that supervised practice. So you can remain in your home community or really wherever you'd like that has reliable internet access for those first 4 semesters. And it is designed to be so that individuals can continue to work. We hear from our master's students that they're able to work about 30 hours a week while doing the coursework. And it's mainly asynchronous work, but instructors can opt for a synchronous or a regular class meeting time as well. When you come to Montana, then August 2023, we all rendezvous in Bozeman for a few weeks for orientation and professional development, and then move out to the placement locations for the major rotation sites. So the MS curriculum, it's a cohort-based model, meaning that all of the applicants we admit for this next cohort will go through these courses in exactly the order you see here, beginning with that first summer session semester. It's 39 graduate level credits through the first 4 semesters of graduate work, plus the last 2 semesters of supervised practice. So in its entirety, 39 credits. And our students estimate 20 to 30 hours a week of coursework, assignments, group work, of time spent on class in those first 4 semesters of the online degree. And it's not self-paced, meaning that instructors have deadlines throughout the semesters. Sometimes there are meetings with your instructor or groups. So you are going at the pace that the instructor sets. Another thing to note is this is a professional master's, meaning that the coursework and the supervised practice together are the entirety of the degree, and that replaces a thesis or a capstone project. So next slide, our MS coursework really builds a foundation for you to move into supervised practice. I'll wait till this next slide comes up. There we go. So we have a foundation in research. The research methods course, the critical thinking course, and health informatics are all research-based, and that blue bold for health informatics, family law and policy, and state of the environment indicates those are interprofessional courses where dietetic systems leadership students are with sustainable food systems, family studies, or even nursing students in those classes. So you're mingling with folks outside your cohort for those. We also have foundation in clinical, so advanced diet and disease and advanced MNT and food systems, advanced food service management, and food innovation and entrepreneurship, which is a food product development class. So really, we've heard the feedback that graduate students really appreciate the breadth and the depth of coursework that they get before jumping into supervised practice. And Colleen will take it away with supervised practice next.
Do you like our pictures? We want to give you a good idea of what it feels like to be here. So this is our group at the CSA and helping with that at Towns Harvest. And Anna's definitely going to tell you more about that. Well, let's take a look, kind of go to an overview slide next. And where we start is in the Bozeman area, like Lindsay had mentioned. So after that first year of the online coursework, everyone joins together in Bozeman in the August of the supervised practice year. And it's laid out that those first 3 weeks is a combination of professional development and sustainable foods foundation work. And it's an everyday 8 to 5 kind of approach. And then everyone will also have 2 weeks in the applied piece of the sustainable foods focus and concentration area. And Anna will talk about that in a minute. So we split you up, everyone together, all 26 interns in the first part during this professional development and foundation work. And then we put you in smaller cohorts to go along through this applied sustainable foods. You can see some of the fun we had this year. We were able to join in at our state level in a farm to school conference. And of course, they made the interns dress up as vegetables, of course, right? And we also had 2 days of clinical simulations, and we were in the simulation lab, and we had actors that came in and played patients and gave interns an opportunity to practice some of those skills, have some of the feeling of what it will be when they're in their clinical rotations, just kind of getting everyone tuned up and feeling confident. The one picture up in the top right, that is, we were at the Livingston Food Resource Center, which is an amazing operation way past the typical food pantry. And we were able to learn about some of their programs, but also hands-on. We were helpful to help them with some of their kids programs out in the park this summer. And that was great. Then every year we have some type of team building day, and we very typically are up in the mountains somewhere fun. And here we are at Highlight Reservoir. And of course, we did have a little bit of water fun that was part of that day, food fun, and also a chance to really kind of play with each other, learn from each other, and cement that first relationships. Well, not so much first, because you've known each other online, but now you get to see each other in person. So cement some of those relationships. These are your best colleagues and support systems through the internship year. Every intern knows what you're going through because they're going through it. So we do try to foster that good, solid foundation of friendship.
Okay, so Sustainable Food Systems Foundation, we consider sort of that premise foundation building component where we have all the interns together. We do have interns come to our program from all over the country and all kinds of different experiences and interest levels and engagement with sustainable food systems before they come. And so we get to spend some time learning about each other's experiences and talking about our interest areas. But we also spend time looking at our local food scene around the Gallatin Valley and the Bozeman area. We're really lucky here to have a very vibrant and innovative food system in this area. And so we explore some of the different leaders in the different segments that interplay together and learn what their role is and how they integrate in this food system. And then sort of explore what our role would be as the food nutrition experts in our food system and why it's important to the profession. So we explore everything from the soil health to production, different types of production models to the waste stream and everything in between. This particular year in the top left there, we went to D&D Greenhouses, which is over in the Livingston area, Paradise Valley, about an hour away probably. And they have a very big greenhouse production facility, which is really interesting to see and to learn about. They have tomatoes on the market in this area maybe in May, when typically it would be July or August for an outside production facility. So they do some really innovative production things there. We also always go to a cattle farm or a dairy. This particular year we went to kind of both. We went to a cattle farm, the bottom left there, and then we also went to a goat farm that has a cheese production operation, and they also have a very large vegetable production operation here too, and they also do pork. So they have a pig production facility. So that was fun to see the piglets and things this year. And the bottom right there is us at a permaculture demonstration farm that we go to every year. And we learn about that style of production and how that differs and can be integrated into sort of a backyard type of gardening situation, and how that might differ from what you would see at our student farm in the vegetable production facility. So other things that we've toured in the past, this year we also went to a gluten-free mill. So we learned how they produce gluten-free flours and baking mixes, and they do oats and a couple of different grains. They're certified gluten-free and kosher, so we learn about those different areas and what it means to be certified in those areas. And we've toured vegetable processing facilities. We also go to a composting facility and a recycling facility. So again, we kind of explore the whole gamut there and learn about sort of what our role could be in those different areas and why it's important for us to know how those all interrelate and how we can maybe find some of those leverage points to make some changes in our food system. And then, as Colleen mentioned, we break that bigger group down into the 3 different smaller cohorts. So you'll be with anywhere from 7 to 10 other interns during this time period. And we focus on more applying the concepts. So we work at our student farm, which I mentioned, Towns Harvest. And that's a 3-acre vegetable production facility that is mostly student run. And we get out in the field and we harvest almost everything. Potatoes, onions, leeks, tomatoes, peppers. They kind of grow the gamut of what you can imagine. And we also work our student farm, campus farm stand, and our CSA program. And so we spend time helping to wash, pack, and prepare the produce for those different venues as well. We work with also with we have a community partner project. So we work with the campus or community partner. This particular year, we worked with our culinary services here on campus and our food pantry on campus, and developed materials related to Harvest of the Month, which features a different food product that's grown in abundance in Montana that is highlighted in institutional food operations, K-12 schools, the institutional food service here. And so we developed advertising, educational promotional materials for that. The previous year, we worked with our extension office and developed materials for the extension agents around the state that have heard questions related to sustainable food systems from their community and needed educational materials to be able to give to educate their different community members about different topics related to sustainable food systems. So those are examples of a project that we do during this time. We also do our culinary medicine program during this time, which I'll talk about in a second. And we have a research presentation component to this time period too. So it's kind of fast and furious, 2 weeks, 4 main sort of themes that we follow. And I'll talk more about that in a second here too. Our culinary medicine program, we just delivered our 5th year of, and it's evolved a little bit every year, but it always maintains these 4 premises of being innovative and experiential, including some nutrition education, developing culinary skills, both personal and professional, and has this interprofessional education component or focus. And so we work with our medical students and our nursing students. So the dietetic interns in the top right there lead a nutrition education piece. And so we have different themes for the different sessions, and the interns give sort of the mechanics of how nutrition relates to that particular state. For example, we have a gut health session and we have an adverse food reaction session. And so those are some examples that the interns develop education materials and then deliver to the nursing and medical students. We always have a tour and a farm dinner at Town's Harvest with the students. And so they're learning then about the importance of soil health and how it relates to human health and why they should care as physicians and nurses. Then we come into the kitchen and we have this culinary skills development piece with our chef RD, who is also part of our leadership team. And then we cook a whole bunch of different recipes together and eat together and talk about the different nutritional aspects of the recipes that we've developed. So it's an important program to highlight the role of the dietitian on the healthcare team. And I can't tell you how many times we've heard the medical and nursing students say, wow, I had no idea what a dietitian does. And this is our time where we're posturing ourselves as the food nutrition experts on the healthcare team. And it's been really effective. So we're very proud of this program. And then this is a fun example of our research presentations. One of our interns this year chose to do her presentation on the degradation of plastics by mushrooms, which is something maybe we vaguely heard about somewhere along the line and didn't know much about, but she felt passionate about learning more about it and teaching the rest of us about it. And so we always have our team, the cohort, and we often have guests that join us during this time as well. And so I challenge you to pick a topic that is something that either really lights your fire, that you know nothing about, that you have an interest in learning more about, something that you know about, but you want to teach the rest of us about, kind of spans the gamut related to sustainable food systems and nutrition. But it's really, really fascinating. We've learned so much from the intern presentations over the years. And then the rest of the interns who are not presenting prepare a farm-focused lunch for the rest of us. And so the challenge there is to shop at the farm first and then build your ingredients from that. So we're really focusing on what's available that particular day, because that can change day to day even, and develop a innovative and creative lunch that's not sort of mainstream, challenge your culinary skills, try out some fun recipes, create new recipes, do some different things. The story on the left there with the Rice Krispie treat is that I overheard the interns developing their menu for the day, and they said, oh, we're going to prepare Rice Krispie treats. And I thought, well, I told them, we don't grow marshmallows in Montana, and we don't grow rice in Montana. So figure out a way to integrate some farm vegetable or produce or some local food into that recipe or choose something else. And they came up with a carrot cake Rice Krispie treat that was absolutely delicious. It was very, very good. And so I was really proud of them for sort of using their out of the box culinary skills and integrating a local food product that was delicious for us all to enjoy. So we definitely front load the sustainable food system concepts into the beginning of the internship, but it does permeate throughout the rest of your rotations in a variety of different ways. We have some rotations that are quite focused on it. For example, we have rotations with our farm to school organizations or like a nonprofit that is working in the food systems realm. But there's times where it's not necessarily the primary focus of what you're working on, and that would be maybe when you're in your clinical rotations. But you develop this lens that then you can take with you and apply it in any setting. So even in your clinical rotations, you can still integrate the sustainable food system concepts and do projects and create educational materials and talk to patients about it and provide resources related to that. So it is front loaded, but then it does integrate throughout the rest of the rotations as well. So that's how we highlight sustainable food systems as our focus area for the internship year anyway.
All right, so Anna's given you a kind of a detailed description of how you move through that first part of the DI year and coming to Bozeman. And now let's look at some of the logistics around that supervised practice year. There we are. So first thing you might notice here is I want to point out Montana is a big state. We are the 4th largest in terms of land mass in the US. However, we just now have a little over 1 million people. So we're a big state with not a lot of people. That's why we utilize the whole state in order to deliver that dietetic internship year piece. And what dictates that is these locations that are noted: Kalispell, Great Falls, Billings, Helena, Missoula, Butte, and Wyoming's location, Sheridan, which is just over the border there, the Montana-Wyoming border. These are locations where we have larger comprehensive care facilities. So for your clinical portion, that's why we split you up and put you into different sites. And there's not just one intern at any of these sites. You at least have one other pair intern, or as many, for example, in Billings, we have 2 comprehensive care facilities there, and we have 9 interns. In Missoula, we have 2 facilities, and we have anywhere from 5 to 6 interns there. So you are with at least one other intern in that same geographic location. You're not necessarily doing the same rotations at the same time, but you're there in the city or town. Let's go to that next slide and we'll talk a little bit more about how it all breaks down. So as I said, you are in different locations. So of course your schedule is not going to be absolutely the same in every location. Every location is set up though in a comparable way. So you can have, depending on your rotations and schedule and location, anywhere from 13 to 15 weeks of clinical nutrition. Everyone has 2 weeks in a small critical access hospital. And that's that rural hospital. In Montana, 75% of our hospitals are those small critical access 23-bed hospitals. And they often also have a long-term care associated with them. So you might have another 70 residents in long-term care. Those hospitals and the gig there is good for the dietitian. You are wearing all the hats. You're the clinical manager, the food service manager, and the community expert often. So we want to give you that opportunity to see that rural piece and how rural healthcare plays out. Everyone spends anywhere from 6 to 7 weeks in community nutrition rotations. These would include things like WIC or a pantry or Livingston Food Resource Center, for example. Then everyone also spends 6 to 7 weeks in food service management rotation. And this will be the food service management in the hospital setting. It could be in a university setting as well. And everyone does spend 2 weeks in a K through 12 setting. And then towards the end, those last 2 weeks before the final week in May of 24, you would have opportunity to select a rotation for yourself. So 2 weeks of self-selected. And this is your chance to add just a bit more experience in whatever realm of area you would like. Those are intern arranged. Again, just some more fun pictures to give you a feel of what it's like to be in Montana in this internship. Anna has included here in this picture set harvesting garlic out at Town's Harvest Garden. Again, this is our year. This year we were doing the team building at Highlight and some fun that we had there. And then interns in the kitchen, learning about canning and doing some, looks like they're doing pickles in that one there. So just some fun things for you to see.
Excellent. I think we're into application logistics then.
It seems our slides are a little slow. Sorry about that.
There you go. Beady hands, getting your hands dirty with the application. All right, we'll dive in. So we do have a pre-select for Montana State University students that happens in January. For our national selection, DICAS applications are due February 15th. We do participate in the D&D match, and you'll be notified April 4th. We do ask for a $1,000 deposit by April 11th to secure your spot. And our requirements, we look for a bachelor's degree, a verification statement for your DPD, the 3 references from dietetic professionals, faculty, or employers. We do not require a GRE. In our review process, each one of us directors will review every application that comes in, and we do have a committee of dietitians who will also review and score applications. Scores are based on scholastic achievement, work volunteer experiences, professional references, leadership ability, and program fit. And I'll say importantly, program fit. The personal statement is 40% of your application score, and Colleen will share a little bit more about what to expect there. Next slide. Our graduate school does require a GPA of 3.0 for undergrad or post-bac coursework. We do accept applications or consider applications with less than a 3.0 GPA. And if you do choose to submit a GRE score to strengthen your application, we prefer to score above the 40th percentile in at least one of the analytical, quantitative, or verbal reasoning categories. And you can send those scores to campus code 4488. Again, not required, but if you are submitting to strengthen your application, send to us there.
So that personal statement piece, yes, it's 40% of the rubric in looking at the applications. It is probably the most important writing you've done yet. So utilize those services and resources that you have at your university or college. Polish it, be concise, but have that demonstrate to us that ability to write, but share with us who you are. And that's what these questions are that you would be answering in this personal statement are about. It's to give us a little more idea about if you're a fit for our program. We hope with today's open house, you have a little idea of what our program is and whether the program is a fit for you. But that's what we're looking for best fit. If it's a fit for you, you're a fit for us. That's when we have the best results and a strong cohort to move through the process of becoming a dietitian. The last point there is that identifying the preferred region. So that's those locations that I was talking about earlier and how that part is set up. And the reason you can identify your top 2 is helpful for placement in that second year. But it also gives you a chance if you know someone in Billings, or if one of you has relatives in Kalispell and it could save you on living expenses, we'd be happy to know that so that we can see if we can make things work out. If you have no real preference, saying that is also just as helpful. So that's what that little piece is at the end on there. But otherwise, the rest is do your best to tell us about yourself, express yourself. That gives us a good idea of who you are.
Our program costs, these are the costs for the 21-23 cohort, and that includes the application fee sent in with your application to MDI, a program enrollment fee. This is the MDI fee that is assessed in that second year, in that supervised practice year. It'll be half in the fall semester and half in the spring semester of that second year. And then there's a line for resident and then a line for non-resident tuition and fees. And those are representative of the cost for 39 graduate credits, which is the entirety of the program across both, all 6 semesters, both of the years. So that does represent tuition and fees for the whole program. And there we go.
The program is federal financial aid eligible. So depending on your eligibility, you definitely should be and can apply for financial aid. It is a graduate program, so that is something to be considered when you are applying for financial aid. And you can contact our own, once accepted, you can contact our own MSU Financial Aid Office for more information. I also want to share with you that we have developed some foundation scholarships and endowments. So for the DSL-MS, so that's Dietetic Systems Leadership Master's year. For example, last year we actually had 2 first-year fellowships that were awarded, and that equated to 6 credits of tuition waiver. And then we also had individuals be awarded some national and state fellowship funding. During the supervised practice year, we have specific awards and scholarships that are only MDI interns can apply for. And in 2021, you can see there we had 21,100 in awards. We had 13 recipients of those funding awards. And that application is provided after acceptance as well. As I said, this is in that second year and only MDI interns can apply. Every year, it seems, we have had individuals in our program win academy scholarships, which is pretty nice. So you are eligible for those for both years. This year in the supervised practice group, there were 2 awardees that received national academy scholarships. So pretty impressive there as well. And we encourage you, anytime we see other scholarship opportunities, we send them your way. We encourage you to seek out these fundings and take advantage of scholarships. And we are happy to entertain any questions. That's what we have for you today. And I see we have a small group, which is actually kind of nice. So please, if there's anything you're wondering about or questions you have, don't hesitate.
I have a question. Can you
Sure.
hear me?
Yes, Lauren.
I have been paying attention to your guys' website, and I noticed that for the internship only portion for, I believe it's starting in August 22, you're not accepting students for that piece.
That's right, because we filled it. We filled it
Okay.
with the MS students are coming in. So we filled 26 slots in the MS year. And so they're going to take all of those supervised practice slots.
Okay. Do you foresee that happening for the next year, starting in the August 2023? Do you think?
I do. I think we're probably going to move forward to a 1-track program. Of course, if someone that's in the master's program right now, if there were someone who did not continue on, that would open up a DI only slot. But pretty much we are moving towards that MSDI model because the career track is moving that direction too, as you probably are well aware in
Right.
2024.
Yeah, I'm just in a combined dietetic master's program now and really interested in the type of specialty you guys have in your internship.
I see. So you can always let us know. And I've had a couple others ask about that. If something changes, I could definitely let you know if something happens and that we would have an opening. And I'm not sure if we would go through all the formal channels to fill it. So if you were on a list, you'd probably get notified.
Okay, great. I'll keep an eye on that then. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for the question.
I have a question, if that's okay.
Yeah, Kimberly, hi.
My name is Kimberly. I just have a question. I know that you talked about some of the clinical rotations are in small bed hospitals. And as much as, clinical is important and I like all the other emphasis that you guys have, I'm just a little bit concerned because the RD exam obviously is very heavy in clinical questions. And I just wonder if you think the exposure of the clinical rotations will help carry us through. Obviously, most of the jobs that we'll get is clinical.
Well, the small hospital is only 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then there's 14, anywhere from 13 to 16 weeks in a comprehensive, a larger hospital.
Oh, okay.
So you will get that ICU, the specialty areas, and all the inpatient, outpatient kind of opportunities and rotations in the comprehensive care. And in the small hospital, it's just 2 weeks where you're kind of doing it all, like I said.
Okay, thank you. That answers my concern. Thank you.
Good question. Thanks.
Hi, I have a question as well.
Sure.
I was taking a look at the course list and I noticed some of the classes were listed in yellow blocks, and I wasn't sure if there was a reason for that or just to separate it as we look at the list.
I'm happy to take that question. I'm just moving to that slide. So let's see. So the yellow ones are nutrition and SFBS courses. So those would be within our department.
It's just a visual aid.
Yeah, piece. Okay. It's not very regular though, so I could understand if you were looking for meaning in it. It's not an every other kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, I was just curious there. I had an additional question. I was curious if there were significant differences with the Sheridan, Wyoming, supervised practice location as opposed to the ones within Montana, if there are any striking differences about that location.
Not really. We are comparable states. So part of our internship, definitely that second year internship year, is an exposure to rural healthcare. And so in that sense, we have similar demographics. Sheridan came into play and has been part of our program for the last 8 years because Wyoming didn't have an internship. They just now in the last couple of years have developed one. But we were trying to give opportunity to students that were coming from Wyoming, or opportunity for students who are looking for that rural healthcare, just as the rest of our program is. And that's kind of how that developed, because there is still some interplay between Billings and Sheridan as far as hospitals and shared of patients and that. So Sheridan is a growing community, and their hospital has grown quite a bit actually in the last 5 years too. So it's not going to be, the hospitals in Montana are sizable, but they're not as large. They're not 250, 300 bed hospitals. So that's a reality of our state of that rural healthcare piece, but they're very sizable, well into, near 200 bed hospitals. Sheridan itself, I'm not 100% sure now because they've had growth where they're at, but probably 125 bed, 130 bed hospital. They have a dialysis unit. They have an outpatient, pretty strong practice. So as I said, it's kind of a growing community as well. So not necessarily anything different. 2 interns go there each year. And they also have experiences in the VA system there. They spend 4 weeks at the Sheridan VA hospital. And that too is interesting to have that opportunity to work with the veterans group.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's Claire. I just had a question about the supervised practice locations. If the places that, when you're looking for housing, are they commutable distances, or are you supposed to try to find somewhere to live in those areas? Because just based on the map, it looked like they were far away, but I'm not very familiar with.
Right. No, you would start in the Bozeman area and have temporary housing for the weeks that you're here, and then move to that location. For example, Kalispell's a 5-hour drive from Bozeman. So yes,
Right.
you're gonna, and interns share housing. Definitely, we encourage that. We have a informal housing list that interns have populated over the years. So there's some ideas and helps there. In the Bozeman area, we see a lot of using of vacation housing and those typical ways, Airbnb, and trying to figure out those kinds of options. Yes, housing is the responsibility of the intern. We try to, anytime I find information on housing, I send it out. Your preceptors at the different places know you're looking for housing. In Montana alone, and in Bozeman particularly, we have since pandemic an explosion in people moving in. So it seems to work. Everyone figures it out, but we definitely encourage sharing. It helps.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other questions? All right. Well, we're really glad that you four joined us. Thank you. And if you have questions along the way, don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. And we just wish you the best of luck as you finish off your year and get ready to move into the next stage. And also hope you have a happy holiday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.